If you are building a SaaS product today, here's a real risk you are up against. Not that your idea will not work, but that you will spend 6 months building the wrong version of it without even realizing. I have made that mistake myself. The first version of AllRide Apps, our own SaaS platform, failed. Not because we lacked the tech skills, but because we built before validating. We assumed too much, shipped too soon, and tried solving too many problems at once. None of them deeply enough. And over the past 18 years, having worked with more than 250 SaaS teams, from first-time founders to seasoned CTOs, I have seen this same pattern repeat across industries. Products that are functional, well-coded, sometimes even beautiful, but fundamentally misaligned with what users actually needed. That's not a tech failure, it's a product thinking failure. An MVP isn't your first product release, it's your product's first real taste. It exists to answer one critical question: are we solving the right problem in the right way? Now here is something you probably will not hear often, because hardly anyone talks about it. Most of the MVP advice out there, surface level. You will find tons of blog posts and YouTube videos saying build fast, launch early, talk to users, but a very few go deep into what actually works when you are trying to build a SaaS MVP that's not just launchable, but scalable. Very few talk about architecture decisions, modular designs, API first thinking, or how to build something you will not need to rewrite 6 months later. That's what this video is about, straight from the trenches. As someone who has helped design the product strategy, architecture, and launch plans for dozens of SaaS companies, I now coach SaaS founders and product teams to get their MVPs right without wasting cycles, time, or budget. So if you're serious about building a real SaaS business and not just shipping code, subscribe to the channel. I share real frameworks, execution tactics, and battle-tested lessons every week. Now let's get into the real best practices for building a SaaS MVP the right way. Best practice number 1, build to learn, not just to launch. An MVP is a learning instrument, not a light version of your final product. It's meant to test your riskiest assumption, not show off a polished feature set. Most SaaS founders overbuild the first version. They try to match competitors, fulfill every potential use case, or impress early investors. But the real goal should be, what can we learn in the next 2 weeks that changes what we build next? Use tools like Typeform, Notion, Webflow, and dummy workflows to simulate the product experience. Build only what is necessary to observe user behavior. As Y Combinator's Dalton Caldwell puts it, do not just build a product, test a hypothesis. Best practice number 2, solve one painful problem end to end. A common trap in MVPs is going too wide. A better approach is to go narrow and deep. Pick one real pain point and deliver a complete experience, even if the backend is partially manual or integrated through third-party tools. For example, if your SaaS is for automating proposal generation, do not build dashboards, analytics, and settings. Focus on just upload brief, generate proposal, and send link. Make that flow airtight. Tools like Zapier, Airtable, and Google Docs can help simulate functionality before you automate it. Paul Graham says the very best startup ideas tend to have 3 things in common. They are something the founders themselves want, that they themselves can build, and that few others realize are worth doing. Best practice number 3, architect with modularity from the day one. Even MVPs need structural discipline. Avoid building a tightly coupled spaghetti-like code base even under time pressure. Because when you get your first users and need to extend functionality, a poorly structured MVP becomes a bottleneck. Start with basic service separation, authentication, business logic, presentation, third-party integrations. For example, keep your auth logic in its own service or middleware. Use event emitters or message queues instead of direct function calls for future extensibility. Store configs in environment variable and use feature flags to conditionally enable modules. A modular MVP is what allows version 2.0 to happen without a rewrite. Keep that in mind. Fourth best practice, go API first even if you have only one front end. An API first mindset helps even at the MVP stage. Treat your backend as a platform. Decouple business logic from the interface, use consistent RESTful patterns, and document your endpoints using OpenAPI or Swagger. Why this matters? When a mobile app, third-party partner, or internal admin dashboard needs to be built, you will not need to re-architect everything. It also signals technical maturity to early enterprise users or partners. We have closed early B2B deals for clients solely because the MVP exposed useful APIs, even if the front end was basic. Best practice number 5. Pick a stack that helps you change fast. Early stage software is all about speed of change, not raw scalability. The stack you choose should allow rapid deployment, for example, Vercel or Supabase. Support schema changes without migration that break the app. Provide easy observability like logs, error tracking, metrics, and offer rich libraries and fast developer onboarding. Avoid premature abstractions or infra complexity. You are better off with a simple monolithic fast API and PostgreSQL stack that ships fast than a distributed microservice setup that delays learning. Do not pick a tech stack just because it is trending. I have seen too many teams suffer from adapting tools that looked exciting but lacked maturity, stability, or community support. Unless the technology has been stable for a while and has strong developer adoption, it's a risk, especially at the MVP stage. If you're unsure, talk to a SaaS coach or advisor. A 30-minute consultation can save you months of rework. Make stack decisions based on clarity, not hype. Best practice number 6. Integrate fast, build later. Use integrations wherever possible, especially for non-code functionality. This lets you deliver value faster and avoid reinventing the wheel. Examples of what to integrate. First, auth with Clark, Firebase, or Auth0. Payments with Stripe or Lemon Squeezy. Emails with SendGrid or Resend. Notifications with Pusher or OneSignal. Automations with Make.com, Zapier, N8N. Build only what makes your product unique. Everything else, plug it in. One of our clients reached $5,000 monthly recurring revenue using Webflow and Airtable and Stripe and Zapier without a single backend route. Best practice number 7. Track what users actually do, not what they say. You cannot improve what you cannot see. Even your MVP should give you insight into what is working and what is not. So you should track user activation, who is completing the key flow, time to value, how long until the core action is performed, drop-off points, where do the users get stuck, session flows via Hotjar or post-hog or full story. Logging and basic analytics are not overhead. They are your real MVP dashboard. Best practice number 8. Fake the backend where needed, but own the user experience. MVPs can run on spreadsheets if needed. What matters is that the user feels like the product works end to end. Behind the scenes, you can manually trigger onboarding emails, write proposals yourself based on form inputs, store data in Google Sheets. Just make sure the experience is smooth and believable. And that's what Airbnb did. Paul Graham told them to do things that don't scale, and they did, and it worked. Best practice number 9. Make your MVP easy to extend and maintain. Even if your MVP solves just one problem, structure it so that you can add features without breaking things later. How to do that? Use feature flags with launchdarky or config-cat to toggle functionality without redeploying. Organize code into modules with clean boundaries. For example, separate billing logic from user logic. Avoid hard-coded logic tied to user IDs, roles, or pricing plans. Use configuration instead. Prepare your environment files and deploy setup to support staging versus production workflows. This will not slow you down. It will help you to move faster when the time comes to scale. You will avoid the common trap of rebuilding your entire MVP just to support the next 10 features or users. Best practice number 10. Design the MVP as a system, not a screen. It's tempting to start with the UI, but the best MVPs are designed as flows. Map the core workflow, like trigger to action to output. What systems does this touch? What integrations are needed? What parts can be simulated manually? For example, a user clicks generate invoice, data is pulled from Stripe, a PDF is generated and emailed. You can simulate that entire chain using Zapier or Make while designing the actual backend in parallel. Designing flows rather than screens helps your team think in terms of value delivery, not pixels. So guys, your MVP is not the end. It is the foundation. If you can just take one thing from this video, make it this. The MVP is not your product. It's your first smart bet. It's not about coding fast. It's about learning fast, validating critical assumptions, and setting the groundwork for a product you can confidently build on. Most failed SaaS products do not die because it's a bad take. They die because of unvalidated assumptions, overbuilt architectures, or MVPs that were never designed to scale. If you get your architecture right, use integrations where it makes sense, modularize your core logic, and track real user behavior, you will not only build an MVP faster, but you will also give yourself the flexibility to grow and evolve it without rewriting everything from scratch. I have worked with SaaS teams for nearly 2 decades, and the ones who succeed treat the MVP as an evolving ecosystem, not a milestone. So build smart, build lean, and build with a clear feedback loop. Guys, if this video gave you clarity, please subscribe to the channel. I share real product building insights every week, backed by code, architecture, and case studies from the teams who are doing it right. See you soon.